In order to complete the bypass authorization form, one needs to select a type of bypass that is occurring. The type of bypass is a function of three different factors. The first factor is whether or not the device that's being bypassed has redundancy that will take its place while the device is in bypass. This is usually available for 1 out of 2 or 2 out of 2 voting arrangements where when one of the devices is taken out of service, the other device is still available to perform the safety action. Even for a 2 out of 2 voting arrangement, that can be configured so that the second transmitter becomes a 1 out of 1 vote in this degraded mode of operation that results from bypassing. So that's the first item. The second item is whether or not the repair can occur within the mean time to repair that was specified during the cell verification calculations. If it cannot, it's a special situation. And then finally, the third item is, what is the reason for the bypass? Is it a normal maintenance, repair, or testing, or is it something else? Because if it's something else, then we're going to need to do more looking. Now, the type of bypass is going to determine the additional analysis that's going to be required. So if I click type 1, that's the situation where the device is part of a fault-tolerant system and the repair is going to happen quicker than the mean time to repair. In this case, you don't need an additional protection plan and you don't need a bypass risk assessment. You just go straight to approval. For a type 2 device, you do have the redundancy that you need, so an alternate protection plan is not required, but because you're exceeding your mean time to repair, you're going outside the accepted tolerable risk levels, and we're going to need a bypass risk assessment to verify that that's okay, which is why you see the bypass risk assessment form has come up. For a type 3 device, we don't need a bypass risk assessment because we can perform the repair in the allotted time period. But in this case, we're talking about a 1 out of 1 voting configuration where there is no SIS device that's going to back up the component that's in bypass. So now we need some sort of alternative, like an operator watching the process variable to be able to replace the device while it is in the bypass state. For type 4, we're going to show the alternate protection plan and the bypass risk assessment because we don't have any redundancy and we can't repair within the mean time to repair. And finally, a type 5 bypass means that we're bypassing for a reason other than maintenance. So we want to do some sort of risk assessment to verify whether or not that's an appropriate thing to do. And if it is, we may or may not need an alternate protection plan depending on how the bypass is to be implemented. So selecting the bypass type is going to determine what additional analysis you need and also present the user with those forms to fill out.